Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? Hope everyone is doing great. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to edge a V-neckline using a placket. So watch to the end. So I'll be working with this boo dress I've already cut out. So for the benefit of those that would like to know how I cut this out, I'll quickly explain that. So I am working with 3 yards of chiffon fabric. I folded into four because I'm cutting both the front and the back at the same time. So at the top here, I measure my shoulder, which is 15 inches divided by 2, will give me 7.5. So this is my 7.5 here. At that 7.5, I take the length of the sleeve, which is 20 inches, okay, plus the hemming allowance. Okay, so at the side here, I came down by 1.5. Hope you're seeing it. At this side here, I came down by 1.5 for my shoulder slant, then connect to the neckline. So the neckline I have here is 3 inches by 1 inch depth. That is for the back, but I cut because I'm cutting both the front and the front and the back. I cut the same neckline, but I'll still alter the neckline for the front because the neckline for the front is a V neckline. Okay, so for the sleeve opening, this is the sleeve. So for the sleeve opening, I use a 9 inches plus half inch to join the shoulder and 1 inch to join the side. That gives me a 10.5. So for the body of the gown, the measurement I use is my hip measurement, which is 48. Divide by 4 will give me 12 inches plus 5 inches is because I want the dress to be very free. So for plus 5 inches is will give me 17 inches and 1 inch seam allowance will give me 18 inches. So I mark 18 inches at the bust area, at the waistline I mark 18 inches, at the hip line I mark 18 inches, and at the hemline I mark 18 inches. So the body of the dress is the same measurement. Okay, I use the same measurement for the body of the dress. So the length of the dress is 60 inches. Okay, so that's that for this dress. So alter the neckline for the front now. So the neckline for the front, remember, is a V neckline, and I want my V to be 8 inches deep. Sorry, 8.5 inches deep. Okay, so before we mark that, we have to fold in our shoulder seam allowance. Remember, we left half inch for that. Okay, so we'll fold it in, then we'll place our tape this way. Hope you are seeing what I'm doing. I fold in my shoulder hemming seam allowance inside half inch this way. Then I will mark my neckline measurements. I said I'm working with 8.5 inches, but I will mark 8. I want my V neckline to be 8.5, but I will mark 8. So this is my 8. This is where 8 is. Okay. At that point, I'm going to go out. Is it out or in? I'll go out by half inch and mark. So this is it. Hope you are seeing what I'm doing. I measure my 8 inches instead of 8.5. Remember, it's 8.5. I mark 8 inches. I'll see explain why. Okay, at the point of 8 inches, I go out by half 0.5 inch and I'll mark. Now I'm going to connect from my shoulder to where I have that 8 inches mark this way. Did you see that? So I have here is not sharp, here is squared. Okay, so by the time I cut it out, you will see how it looks like. So I'll go ahead and cut it out now. So this is how it looks. I Can you see? You can see how this side look like. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do is to join the back to the front. So I'm done joining the back and the front shoulder. Can you see? So this is my neckline. I've also take the around the neckline measurement, which is a 29. Okay, which is 29. So I've gone ahead to cut out my placket is 2 inches width on fold, and the length is more than 29 inches. I think I have extra 5 inches. Okay, so please, when you're cutting your placket, make sure that it's more than the length of your neckline. Okay, so when you're done fixing it, you can now cut out the excess. So I'm going to show you how to fix the placket now. So this is my neckline. So what I'm going to do is to place my placket this way. Can you see? I'm going to place it this way, and I'm going to sew by 0.5 round it. Now, if I want to start sewing, remember that we stop at 8 inches while marking the front neckline, but our initial measurement is 8.5. What we want the neckline to be is 8.5, but we'll mark 8 inches and square it at that point. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by ½ inch before the the neckline I mark. That is before the 8 inches mark. I hope you get that. I'm going to start ½ inch before the 8 inches mark, so that by the time I'm done fixing my placket, the actual neckline will now be 8.5. So I'm going to place my placket this way. Hope you're seeing what I'm doing. This is my neckline. I'm going to place it, making sure that I have excess plackets. Okay, can you see? So I will start by 0.5 before the actual neckline, before the 8 inches mark, then I will sew round. So I'm done fixing the placket, as you can see. So please, I want you to note something. Before you start fixing your placket, make sure you iron interfacing on the placket so that it will give the placket some kind of structure. Okay, so looking at this, I started stitching ½ inch before the 8 inches mark. Okay, so by the time I notch and turn, the V neckline will now be 8.5. Remember that we stop at 8 inches while cutting it out. Okay, so I'm going to turn the placket, the rough edges inside, and before I do that, I have to notch, which I've already done. My notches stop at the where my stitches start. Can you see? Can you see where my notch starts stop? Can you see this one? If you stitch, you're not going to have a very clean finishing. So what I'm going to do next is to turn the placket inside. So this is it. Can you see? So the next thing, you can see how clean it is. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to hold the placket and the body of the dress so that the placket won't start coming out. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the wrong side this way. Can you see? So this is the part I'm going to sew together with the placket. Can you see? Just here. I'm going to run the stitches here. So I'm going to pin it, and I'll go over to the machine and do that. So I'm done stitching it down, as you can see. Can you see? Looking so neat and clean. Can you see? So this is the wrong side where I stitch it down. Can you see? Can you see? So this is how it looks on the mannequin. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next one.